Excellent. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, no ladies with us at the moment. We are expecting a few in a little while. But good evening, gentlemen. Good to see you all. Thank you for joining me on this Sunday evening in the UK, Sunday afternoon in various other parts of the world. And those of you watching by video, welcome. Hopefully you'll enjoy what you see. It's going to be a little bit of a presentation about Wealth Warriors, some of the basics, but I will skip over the basics simply because I believe, and I could be wrong, I believe that everybody on this call is already involved in Wealth Warriors, knows the routine, knows what we're trying to achieve. But I will run through it again very briefly because I want to spend some time on latest developments and the plan for the future. So without further ado, I'm not going to particularly spend any time talking about me. If you understand Wealth Warriors, you know that it's my baby. It's something that I thought of last year, something I've been working on for a year, and it's basically a system where we can avoid all the rug pulls, all of the scams, and all of the bad businesses, and so on. And I'm going to be honest with you all right from the start. When I envisaged Wealth Warriors, I kind of expected it to be a lot better, a lot easier than it is, but there are just so many scams out there, so many badly run businesses out there. It really is hard to know when you get involved in a platform. It's hard to know that in 8 months' time, a year's time, 18 months' time, that's the business is going to fail. All you can do is do the best you can when you get engaged with a platform. You do the best you can, make sure it's as legitimate as possible, and then you decide do it or don't do it. However, once we decide to do something, even if it's the best platform we've ever seen, what we aim to do is to mitigate our risk a little bit. We never put in more money than we can afford to lose, and we recover our investment if we need to. Of course, not everybody needs to. Some people have got money to, they've got an investment fund, and if they lose it, they lose it. That's the way the cookie crumbles. But for most of us, we don't want to go through losing money. We want to recoup our money as quickly as possible. So that's kind of what we look when we build, when we look for opportunities to build our Wealth Warriors business on. So welcome to Wealth Warriors. And it says financial freedom fighters. I believe us to be financial freedom fighters. I don't believe there's another organization in the world that has, or another community in the world that has the commitment to becoming financially free that we do collectively. Everything we do is aimed towards that one goal. It's not just about making money. It's not just about getting involved in some platforms and having a bit of an income. It's about financial freedom. And personally, I'm prepared to fight tooth and nail to become financially free, to help other people do the same thing, and to pass that financial freedom to my beneficiaries, to my children, to their children, and so on. You'll understand a little bit more about that as things unfold. We have had some discussions about that in the past. If somebody has got a burning question that can't wait until the end of the presentation, by all means, put your hand up. You do that at the bottom of the Zoom screen. It says reactions, and there's a big bar there that says raise hand, and I will stop everything and we will focus on you and listen to what you have to ask. However, if it can wait until the end of the presentation, it would be better for me because I lose my train of thought very quickly, very easily. And if I have a train of thought, then I like to stick with it. I don't talk in straight lines, but I get it all said eventually. So welcome to Wealth Warriors. The inevitable disclaimer, nothing that you hear tonight is financial or investment advice. We're not an investment platform, we're a community. If you do decide to invest in any of these platforms, only use money you can comfortably afford to lose and carry out your own due diligence. Have a strategy to recoup, and if you want to carry out your own due diligence on any of the platforms we're using, I can show you where to start. I can show you what to do, how to access public records. I don't go by what's on the internet. I don't go by what's posted on Facebook or even Google or even Wikipedia. Okay, because they're all written by people who have an opinion. I go by public records that are, well, by and large, they're truthful. Court transcripts and corporate agreements, contracts, and so on. So I look at the source material. I don't get involved in all this rubbish that's flying around the internet. So back to the disclaimer, have a strategy to recoup your initial investment as soon as possible, and have a strategy to create a large income over time by withdrawing some and reinvesting some of your profits. So what's the problem with online businesses? Again, I'm going to skip through this very quickly. There are just too many scams. And even if a business isn't a scam, a scam is set up deliberately to take your money from you. At some point, the guy, he knows exactly what he's doing, and he's watching one line go up, which is money coming in, another line coming down, which is how much he owes us collectively. And when the line crosses, then that's the point at which they'll take the money and run. So a scam is deliberately set up to take your money from you. Badly run businesses are not scams. They're just badly run businesses. And it's hard to represent on the internet what's a good business, because somebody says, I've got this great idea, look at my platform. If you do this, you get 5% a day. And they don't mean any harm. They think it's a sustainable business model, and they don't realize until a year later, when all of their profits have been taken out the door by big networkers, that is not a sustainable business model. So and that accounts for a lot of businesses. They are just badly run. They're not well thought out. They're not well financed. They're not well staffed. It takes forever to do anything. When regulations change, they can't keep up with withdrawals. Although they tend not to have the same problem with making deposits, but they can't keep up with withdrawals and so on. So they're just badly run businesses. And those that aren't scams and don't go bust get shut down by regulators and government departments. I've seen that so many times, where the government decides that they want to shut a business down to protect the investors, but unfortunately they never give money back to the investors. They keep it all for themselves. And it doesn't matter how much money you make in online businesses, you cannot be truly free. It doesn't matter how much money you've got. We live in a control matrix, and I will talk about that in a little while. So individually, we're doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past, but collectively, we can help most of us avoid the pitfalls of the industry. And this brings me on to one point I just want to labor a little bit, and that is that I said earlier, I was hoping that the Wealth Warriors would have taken off a lot more than it has, but I realized actually that I'm keeping my finger on keeping my foot on the brake pedal to a certain extent, because I'm not confident in the mix of platforms we have with us now. I'm not confident to run that out and bring 20, 30, 50,000 people into what we're doing. We have a few hundred, and I'm quite happy with running with that few hundred until we get the system. It'll never be perfect, but more perfect than it is. So I realize I'm the one slowing things down because things are not the way that I want them to be. If we have 50,000 people and we introduce a new platform, and that platform it turns out to be a scam or badly run business, then collectively we could lose $50,000. But if there's only a few hundred of us, maybe 10 of us try out the new platform, and then we report back and say this is working, or no, this isn't working, which is what we've done before. So so we're moving a bit more slowly than I wanted, but it's a deliberate thing. I didn't realize that until the other day when I kind of analyzed it, but it's a deliberate thing. As in, we're not marketing Wealth Warriors. We're not out there pushing it. We're only having one meeting a week rather than every single day, and these sorts of things. We haven't got an online presence in Facebook pages or LinkedIn pages or anything like that. So we're kind of taking it slowly. We're still feeling our feet and trying to make something that works for us. Then we can push it out. So if that disappoints you, I apologize. It is different from what I promised you initially. But I just think that because I'm doing that on a subconscious level, I kind of feel that's the right thing to do. We're safer together, and with safety comes time. And that's all we need, is time to start small and build, because it doesn't matter how much you have, how much money you have. If you want to build a business, you want a lot more money than you have now. So let's suppose you have, let's suppose you have $1,000 to start off in Bit Harvest. You buy one booster, and it's going to take you a period of time to build that up until you've got 10 boosters, 20, 50, 100 boosters. So you're never going to start as quickly as you want because you only had $1,000. But if you had $100,000, then your target will be $1 million income a year, and so it will take you a number of years to build up from that 100,000 investment to $1 million. So none of us ever get off to the fast start that we're hoping we will, simply because we can only start where we can afford to start right now. So I was going to make a point there, but it's gone, so I'm going to move on. Develop a plan and follow that plan. And hopefully the plan is look into what Wealth Warriors are doing. And whenever Wealth Warriors says, look, here's a platform, get involved, you get involved. Even if you only get involved at a very low level, you'll see why it's important to maintain lines of sponsorship in a minute. So here are the rules of Wealth Warriors. So here are the benefits. The benefits are, one, your growing income is protected from rug pulls. And even if we do get involved, let's suppose we have 5 platforms and it turns out they pull the rug on one of them, we still have 4 platforms producing an income. We don't suddenly lose everything. Okay. Benefit 2, your team is loyal and committed to you. And I've tried to write this in kind of bullet points, but I could write a whole chapter in a book about each of these benefits. If your team is loyal and committed to you, then it means that you have security. If they're not loyal and committed to you, you don't have security. They'll just be off to they'll be chasing the next shiny object business, the next thing that everybody started raving about, okay, because they're not loyal and committed to you. When they're loyal and committed to you, they'll say, what platforms are we getting involved with? What are you doing? Okay, can I join with you? Okay, so that's an important point. You can protect your permanent network of friends and family. You can make sure they don't lose all their money. You can make sure they don't lose all of their friends and family by being involved in Wealth Warriors. You can build a future business much faster with far more profit. Let's suppose you have a small group of maybe 100 people and you have a platform, and in that, you have those 100 people in that platform, and so you're making, I don't know, $5,000 a month. Okay, and then we introduce a new platform. Straight away, you have 100 people go into that new platform. If you build this properly, according to the rules of Wealth Warriors, okay, where people don't say, oh, well, shall I join or shan't I join? No, if you're committed to Wealth Warriors, it doesn't matter whether you like it, don't like it, whatever. The rules say, when we have a new platform, you do it. So therefore, when we have a new platform, your friends do it also. So now all of a sudden you've got 100 people in that brand new platform. So you're being paid in the new platform for work you did in previous platforms. That's one of the benefits, a real big benefit of Wealth Warriors. You can build a future business much faster with far more profit and a lot less effort. You can build one business and grow all the businesses in our portfolio. If we have 4, 5, 6, okay, you build one, and then as people get used to Wealth Warriors, they're successful. Your success spills out into these other platforms. You can reclaim lost money and recent expenditure. And you reclaim it. You don't get it back from the place you lost it, but you can get it back from elsewhere. If you've lost $50,000 in online businesses, at some point in the future, you'll be in a position to reclaim all of that, plus plenty more. Okay, and I'll show you how to do that in a few minutes. And you can become wealthy and live an abundant life. Okay, I don't know anywhere else on the internet people are being offered an abundant life. What's an abundant life? Well, if you want a new house, you go and buy a new house. You want a new car, buy a new car. You want a yacht, go and buy a yacht. You want a helicopter, go and buy a helicopter. Okay, that's an abundant life. You can have whatever you want. You can put money into college funds for your children, your grandchildren. Okay, so that they don't have to leave college with $50,000 or $100,000 worth of debt to start their new life. No, give them a car while they're at college. They'll be one of the most popular people around if they've got a car and their own apartment. Okay, plus they leave with no debt. Then that's you having an abundant life and passing it on generationally. So here's an illustration. I'm going to really skip through this because time's getting away from me quite quickly. if we have 4 platforms, you've got 10 people in all 4 platforms, and you're making an amount of money in each of the platforms, your total income is whatever the total of those incomes are. So let's have a look at that. This is you with 10 people, and Alan's introduced all the A's, Bella's introduced all the B's, and Chris has introduced all the C's. And your income's $1,000 a month. So let's just move that out of the way to make room for platform 2. And when we start platform 2, you put everybody in platform 1 in exactly the same positions in platform 2. There's no benefit to, or there is benefit to them trying to get ahead of their upline, but they will be destroying what we're trying to build here with Wealth Warriors. It's much, much better for you just to wait and get involved in a new platform in the position you're meant to be within Wealth Warriors, rather than trying to get one up on your upline and get in before them. Okay. Yes, you'll make a little bit more money the getting in before your upline, but over the long term, you will lose out so much more. You will never have a very large business and live an abundant life. It just won't happen, because that's a form of disloyalty. So that's platform 2, and now your income is 2,000 a month. And here's platform 3. Everybody in platform 3 gets in exactly the same position, so that's 3,000 a month. And then in platform 4, everybody gets in exactly the same position, and so you're making $4,000 per month. So let's suppose we run like that now for a few weeks, a few months, possibly even a few years, and all of a sudden there's new regulation comes in, and platform 4 is no longer suitable for Wealth Warriors, so we get rid of it. Your income has dropped to $3,000 per month. But best of all, you haven't destroyed the relationships you've had with Alan, Alan, Bell, and Chris. And they haven't destroyed the relationships they have with all of their people. Okay, we're all still in this together. So no friendships lost, no family members not speaking to us anymore. I'm so sorry. And your income has dropped from $4,000 per month all the way down to $3,000 per month. Not very nice, but not the end of the world, because soon what we're going to do is introduce platform 5. And if you put everybody in the same position in platform 5, it's reasonable to expect your income has now gone back up to $4,000 per month. Okay, and so we can carry on adding platform 6, 7, and 8. I believe there's a limit of about 6 or 7 platforms. There may not be, but I believe there is. But this provides the security that we're looking for. This is why we're building Wealth Warriors, rather than just getting out there, jumping into any business we fancy in any line of sponsorship that takes our attention, or sends us a message on Facebook. Okay, this is planned, it's organized, it's worked out to give you the security. You don't get the security and the freedom by accident. So if you want the benefits, you must follow the rules. And the rules are: 1, don't sign up in any other platforms that come along. If it's a good platform, we will adopt it at some point. I check out maybe 10 or so platforms a week. I certainly get to see all the new ones as they come along. And to be honest, there's nothing I've gotten involved in, or there's nothing I've seen in the last 6 months worth getting involved with, apart from Bit Harvest. So since Bit Harvest came along, nothing new. And I've checked out dozens and dozens. And people are talking about virtual race horses, and they're talking about platforms that have their own blockchain and this sort of thing. It's all just smoke and mirrors. Do sign up in all the platforms that we adopt. Do maintain lines of sponsorship across all the platforms. Do get your personally introduced people to do the same. And do support your own people by learning about all of the platforms we adopt. You don't have to be an expert, but you do need to have a working knowledge of all of the platforms. So why worry about the rules? Is because you want the benefits. You can't have the benefits without following the rules. And the rules are there for a reason. It's not for my ego or for just somebody being a bit picky. It's because without the rules, you don't get the benefits. And that would be a terrible thing to have happen. You just build things your own way, do things your own way, and then in 4 years' time, you think, I'm still in exactly the same position I was in back in 2024. What's going on? And then I say, well, you should have followed the rules. Okay, and then you'd have had the benefits. You'll also miss out on all the drama associated with the latest scam or failed business or rug pull. So, I know some people like that drama, but you're going to have to go without it. Being community-centric, you put the community first, not yourself. You can't do both. You can't be a bit self-centered. You either focus on what you're going to get, or you're focused on what you're going to help the community achieve. By the community, it doesn't necessarily mean your bit of the community. It means the larger community of wealth warriors. If you help wealth warriors succeed, then you will succeed along with that. Remember, platforms come and go, but the community survives. The community persists. And you can be a part of wealth warriors only if you follow the rules. If you're doing your own thing, then you're not really part of wealth warriors. You might have the badge, you might come to the meetings, okay, you might tell people you're part of wealth warriors, but if you're not following the rules, then you're not really a wealth warrior. Criteria for adopting a platform. I'm not going to go through this I am going to go through it very quickly. It must be available in the whole world, to everybody in the world. It must have a unit-level compensation plan. People must be able to join for free or get involved in a passive income program for a very low entry cost, i.e. $100. And if you have 1, 2, and 3, then we can maintain the lines of sponsorship across all the platforms. If you don't have 1, 2, and 3, then you can't. So that's why we have 1, 2, and 3, so that we can maintain lines of sponsorship. It must be based on real world applications, not just a money game or a shell game or numbers moving around on a screen. Okay. Criteria for, and that's why I was saying about these virtual horse racing and so on. You know, it's not a real world activity. We must be able to verify the company's legal status and its involvement in the real world activities. We must meet the CEO or the business owner or visit the offices. The compensation plan must be viable and sustainable. And it's amazing how many times I run up a spreadsheet for a compensation plan to realize it won't work. It's gonna, you know, people are just gonna be bankrupt the system before very long. And the membership of wealth warriors must all be able to get behind the project. So no gambling, no money lending, arms dealing, etc. So we have some platforms. One of them is called Trade Like Crazy. Trade Like Crazy is being a little disappointing because they have stopped allowing withdrawals to some people. And those of us who ask about it in the chat groups have been shut down by a robot because we use the word withdrawal. And so we can't even comment and say, when's this going to be fixed, because we have no voice in that community anymore, which is, in my opinion, that's totally unprofessional. It's not what I thought the company was going to be like when we got started with them. Apparently they haven't stopped withdrawals to everyone, but enough people, and they haven't sorted it out. There's no communication from them about how long it's going to take to sort out. If the problem is, as they say it is, it should take about a day for a decent programmer to sort that out. I've sorted out similar problems. Changing from one coin to another is really not that difficult. You change the API call to your provider, and that's pretty much it. You know, you just have to change the same code like 20 times throughout the platform. Job done. They say it's temporary. So the other thing that I don't know if I put this on the slide, but the other thing I'm very wary of is that if their blurb is true, if what they told us initially is true about how they're doing the trading, they should not have ever gotten into this position. They shouldn't be in a position where they cannot pay out withdrawals. Okay, they're saying, well, you know, we've lost some money, where our trading's down a little bit, which means that either they're lying now or they were lying when they said they only put 5% of their money on a trade. So either way, I'm losing faith in them, I'm losing trust in them, and I'm kind of hoping that we will be able to get our money back, but I think that we'll be moving on. So our position is that we're not promoting TLC, we're not advocating you sign up new people into TLC. By all means, repurchase with your earnings, but do not introduce new money to TLC, and do not apply for or send the $500 to purchase their MasterCard. I think if you do, you will be saying goodbye to $500. And if I'm wrong, there's always plenty of time to correct it at a later stage. Wealth Warriors will eventually drop TLC and replace it, simply because of what I just said. If they were doing what they said they were doing, they would not be in this position now. So therefore, we've not been told all the truth. the fact they're in this position now means that we haven't been told the truth. So we can't work like this. We need something that's reliable. So eventually we'll drop TLC and replace it. So that's TLC, Wealth Warriors, Matrix Freedom. The company has now split the process into two distinct strands: Roadmap to Freedom, which is Freedom Matrix in its old sense, and I Am Free is a second strand. So the Roadmap to Freedom is all about money. It's all about the money that you can recoup from your bank, your mortgages, write off any loans, and so on. Okay, so it's all the finance, creating new currency. That's all under Roadmap to Freedom. I Am Free is about you getting free from the control matrix. So we'll cover that very briefly. So Roadmap to Freedom covers all the financial aspects, and I Am Free covers all of the lawful requirements to become free. But you still only have to sign up as a member. You sign up as a member once, and you have access to both of these strands, and are still free to become a member. You can enroll for one or other or both of these strands once you're a member. Being in either process does not take away from your ability to be an affiliate or a network organizer. So the Roadmap to Freedom, you can recoup your checking account. At the moment, we're still recouping for 2022. There's been a little bit of a 3 steps backwards and go down a different route. I'll cover that in a minute. And that costs $1,000 per personal account or $2,000 per business account. Recoup subsequent years of personal and business bank payments. So pretty soon we'll start on 2023. Then early next year, we will start the work to recoup 2024. When this is all bedded down and working smoothly, every January, February, people will be recouping for the year that's just finished. But we have a bit of a backlog because we can still claim for 2022 and 2023. We have a bit of a backlog to take care of, which I'm very grateful for, because my recoupment for 2022 is about $150,000. So I'm very pleased about that. You can discharge mortgages, loans, taxes, and other debts. And people often ask me, how does that work? It's really very, very simple. What happens when you take out a mortgage is that the bank creates money based on your signature. Okay, it puts creates a loan account for you, and in there it puts a positive balance of, let's suppose your mortgage is 250,000. Okay, so it puts a positive balance of 250,000 and a negative balance of 250,000. So they haven't given you anything; they've just created a positive and a negative in a balance sheet, and then they take that 250,000 and they transfer it to someone else. They haven't lent you any money; they've created the money for you. Okay, then what they do is they con us into repaying interest on that loan. Well, they didn't lend us anything, so they shouldn't be charging us interest on anything. So that's what this discharge mortgages is about, is saying I'm not going to pay any interest on that money. It's my money. When I sell the property, I will make enough money that I will repay. I'll pay up that loan account. Okay, so the negative and will go back to 0, because I'll give you $250,000 back. Okay, but until then, I'm not going to pay any money on this mortgage every month. So that's discharging mortgages, loans, tax, and other debts. Okay, you can also create new currency to acquire property or a car or a yacht or a helicopter, whatever you like. And you then look at controlling and sheltering your assets in a private trust so that nobody else can get their hands on it. Nobody can, for example, take you to court and sue you and say, no, in payment, you've got to give me your helicopter. Okay, because that helicopter is in a private trust. The government can't say, sell your house because you're going to be, you've got to pay for your care now that you're moving into a nursing home. Okay, because that house is in a private trust. It can't be touched by anybody. And create new currency as needed to live a life of abundance. Any currency you need, however much you need, you put in an application for that, and it turns up a few weeks later as your money. The I Am Free element, you correct your status and standing. So at the moment, we're all living in what's actually an unlawful position, in that we are acting as if the person the government has decreed we are, and we're not. We're a real living person who doesn't have, so the government or the control matrix doesn't have any control over us except the control that we give them. And through our birth certificate, we have given them permission to charge us taxes and lock us up in prison for not doing what they want and all these other things. Okay, you know, not to not go to work because there's a lockdown because of COVID-19 or whatever the rules are. They apply to us simply because we're in the wrong status. And so you want to correct that. You want to become a free person, move away from the control matrix. And you know, start getting rid of that control over your life. You can rescind all unlawful contracts and replace them with lawful contracts. So let's suppose you have a contract with Apple for your iPhone. At the moment, that contract is with the straw man person. Okay, and so when you stop acting as the straw man, you've got to cancel that contract and then take out a new contract as a living, breathing person. So all of this is explained in Matrix Freedom. They talk you through it. They'll help you. They'll produce the forms, show you how to do it. But this is just what happens on the road to becoming free. Again, you can set up a private trust. So if you're only going down this route instead of both routes, you don't need 2 private trusts. You can have as many trusts as you want, of course. But you set up a private trust to operate for you without you being enjoined to the control matrix. So when people want to do commerce with you, they don't operate with you. They work on the private trust, and you are above all of that. You don't get your hands dirty with that. Transfer the allodial title of all assets to your private trust. So if you have a house at the moment, you don't actually own the allodial title. You might think you own the property, but you don't. If the government wanted to, they could come and bulldoze your house to the ground. Okay, if you have a car, you think you own the car, you don't. The government could tow it away and crush it if they want to. Okay, so but if you have, when you own the allodial title, the real value of that is sat in your private trust. Nobody can touch that. Just nobody can touch it. It's as simple as that. So your private trust owns all of the things that you want to use in your life. You can engage with the Old Souls Nation Foundation to ensure your protection and sovereignty going forward. And this is something that Matrix Freedom is an optional thing, but Matrix Freedom is saying, when you become free, why not join this other community, and we will support each other in our our endeavors to live in a free society. And if you do that, then you can obtain a one world passport, a one world driving license, and basically you are an ambassador. You are your own country, in effect. So you are the ambassador of your own country. So your passport is particular to you, your country, your status, if you like, and is valid in every country around the world. You don't need the government to issue it to you. It's yours. You are the authority on issuing your own passport, driving license, and any other licenses you feel you may need. The only reason you want these licenses and passports and things is because when you go through an airport, they'll want to see a passport. Well, you don't want to have their passport. You don't want to have your country's passport, because that means you're acting as a citizen of that country and their rules then apply to you. So you have your own passport so that they've got something to look at. And in that passport, it says that you are a sovereign person. You are an independent person. So when you first log into Matrix Freedom, there's some pages that will take you to what to do, to watch some videos, read some PDF documents and so on. There's a 3.5-minute welcome video. There's the Roadmap to Freedom, a 13-minute video there, and a 102-minute Roadmap to Freedom webinar and so on. And there's also some ebooks that are available. These are also available in Wealth Warriors Telegram group. So this is, I'm just showing this as an example of, or not an example, I'm showing this as, yeah, why not? As an example of what can happen. But we went down the route of me recouping all of my bank payments for 2022. It cost me £3,000, which is about $3,400. And I ended up being in this position that these are the steps that needed to be done in order for me to recoup this $168,888.25 from the IRS. So that's the USD value of every penny that went out of my two bank accounts in 2022. So one business bank account, one personal bank account. And here you can see different dates for different things. Filing 1 complete, number of banks was 2, filing 2 complete. Well, before we got to this point of filing 2 being complete, here, they decided that, and it's not clear, the IRS don't want to make things easy for you, but it became clear that those people that submitted these recoupment values of less than $50,000, those returns came back very, very quickly, as in 40, 50 days. Those over 50,000 were taking much, much longer. So what Matrix Freedom decided to do is those people with a claim over 50,000, they said, let's back up a little bit, go down a different route, and what we'll do is we'll separate this out into 2 separate claims. One for under $50,000 and one for over $50,000. So that's what we did. So here's my revised journey, part 1. Okay, and you can see here that they applied for my EIN, and I received it back a couple of days ago. I haven't signed my trust agreement yet, but at some point I will have access to a trust agreement. I'll print it, sign it, upload it, and then we'll carry on with that. They've done the filing on the 6th of September for me. And they're claiming for me $48,000. So that's the less than $50,000 trustee process. Okay, and when that's completed, at the same time, they're going down this route for the rest of it, which will be over $50,000. And you can see we haven't even started that yet. Nothing's been actioned. So that's kind of where we are. Instead of making one large claim, it's been separated into 2 small claims. One of the small claims is well along the path, and I'm expecting to get a result for that before the end of October. I'm expecting that money to be in my trust bank account before the end of November. So BitHarvest, I'm not going to spend any time on BitHarvest because no, that's not true. Yeah, some things have changed. I'll go through very quickly, and we'll get to the changes. So you know that we enhance miners' profits from your own bit boosters. You earn $5 a day in Bitcoin as passive income, and you're going to earn commissions on sales. You earn a percentage override of the Bitcoin that's mined in your group. You buy more boosters or shares to manually compound earnings, and they are an income-producing asset like a rental property or an ATM machine. So here's an example of passive income. You buy 1 booster. This is actually, I should have changed all this. 1 booster now is with the new plan is about 500,000K. 5 boosters is 2.5 million. 10 boosters is 5 million, and so on. So these figures are a bit low compared to where they should be. I apologize. I should have updated those. You can go for the ranks as well. This is strategy 2. Strategy 1, passive income. Strategy 2, work your way up through the ranks by introducing other people. So at the 1-star level, you'll earn a one-off sales commission of $350. You'll make $128 a month, roughly. Your monthly referral income will be $173. And in 5 years' time, if you save up all your Bitcoin, it'll be worth $274,000 from one-star business. 2-star, you have sales commissions of $1,100, $386 per month. Your referral income is $1,100 per month, and your Bitcoin, if you save it all up, will be worth 1.3 million in 5 years' time. That's only assuming the Bitcoin hits 1 million in 5 years' time. 3-star gives you a sales commission of $3,000. You get $643 per month. You get $3,400 monthly referral income, per month, and you get your Bitcoin, if you save it up, is worth 3.3 million. Your sales commission at the 4-star level is $10,000. Your monthly income is $1,900 a month. Your monthly referral income is 11,300, and your Bitcoin, should you save it up, is worth 10 million in 5 years' time. This is at the 4-star level. You might have noticed there's some changes to these figures. The sales commission is less, but all of the other incomes are more. So at the 5-star level, you'll have made 27,700 in sales commissions. Your passive Bitcoin income will be nearly 4,000 a month. Your referral income will be 34,000 a month, and your Bitcoin, if you save it all up, is worth about 30 million in 7 years, in 5 years' time. At the 6-star level, your sales commission for selling all those boosters in your group will be $90,000. Your passive Bitcoin income will be 6,500. Your monthly referral income is 70,000 a month, and your Bitcoin will be worth 60 million if you save it up for 5 years. So at the 7-star level, and I know some of you are thinking, what's the 7-star level? Okay, at the end of this month, there will be a new marketing plan. It's going up to 8 stars, and it's adjusted some of the percentages, which is what I was saying. The sales commissions are lower, but the other incomes are higher. So they've diverted more money into this, and in fact, they've actually given us an additional 5% in our part of the plan, so that the company only gets 5% of the pot now, and we get an extra 5%. Well, in fact, that's not true. The extra 5% is shared out between us and the mining farms. That's what I should be saying. So your sales commission for selling all those boosters is 1.2 million. You'll make 7,700 per month. Your referral income is 76,000 per month. And your Bitcoin, if you had saved it all up, then it would be worth 95 million. Okay, so is there anybody who thinks they couldn't survive on $76,000 a month? I know it'll be a bit of a struggle for some of us, but we could probably manage it. And when you hit 8-star, then one-off sales commissions, you'd have earned 370,000. Sorry, that must be wrong. 7-star must have been wrong. I apologize. Ignore the 7-star sales commissions. Your own monthly passive Bitcoin income is 9,000 per month. Your referral income is 448,000 per month. So that's $500,000 per month for your share of all the mining of all the boosters in your whole group. And this is just maths. So I'm not saying this is what your business is going to look like. This is just maths. And if you had accumulated all of those Bitcoin, they would be worth 350 million. So that's a pretty sizable chunk. Now, the reason this gets to be a little bit ridiculous at this level is because, as we know, we only have 500,000 boosters to sell. So it's not realistic for you to be to have 1 million boosters just in your group, because there's only 500,000 available for the whole world. So these figures would be true if you were to get there, but I suggest our plan is to get hold of as many of these bit boosters as we can between now and when we sell out. The other option is to buy, if somebody buys instead of buying a Bitcoin, they buy 70 boosters. Okay, and if you keep the Bitcoin for 2 years, and the price of Bitcoin goes to 200,000, then your Bitcoin is worth 200,000. But if you buy 70 boosters and earn for 2 years, you have $4.5 million worth of Bitcoin after 2 years. And better than that, you still have 434 boosters earning 4.5 million every year after that. Okay, so that's a good plan. Instead of having 1 Bitcoin and sitting on it, you use that 1 Bitcoin and buy 70 boosters instead. Okay, I'm going to talk now about another platform that we are looking at adopting, or we are going to adopt as of right now. I'm promoting Cryptex. And the idea of Cryptex is that I've got to confess to saying Cryptex is a very, very large platform. There are lots of different things you can do with it. I think it would behoove us just to simplify things and say, we're only going to get involved in this one little corner of the platform. And that little corner is where we stake, for example, $100 or $1,000. And the promise is if you stake $100 today, then in 3 years' time, today, you would have about $36,000 that you can withdraw. Okay, so Cryptex is a crypto investment company, and it's a unified platform that combines multiple DeFi functionalities. So it's very big, very complicated. It's easy to get lost in among all the jargon. I've read their pages over and over and over, and I still don't understand it because it's just all jargon. It's a platform to allow you to make use of the all-in-one investment solutions to participate in the potentials of decentralized finance. It allows you to access trading on popular crypto tokens. I'm suggesting we don't do that. We just stake $100 or $1,000 and let them do the work to build that fund up. The headquarters is in Singapore and in the Cayman Islands. So we get rewarded for providing liquidity. And there are two types, passive and active. I'm not going to go into that. The minimum investment is $100. A typical payout after 3 years will be 36,000. Cryptex was founded in 2018, so it's been around a little while now. Been around 6 years, so gives us a little bit more of a warm fuzzy that it's it's a bit more reliable, and also there are a lot of very successful business people involved in Cryptex. So I haven't done any more due diligence than that. But this is where my account is. After 18 months, I started with $100 and is now worth $20,832. Now I can't touch that until the third year anniversary of when I made the deposit. Okay, so it's kind of nail-biting stuff. And that's why I only put in $100 at the beginning, because I didn't want to put in a lot of money in case, I don't trust things that take a long time to mature. In this industry, I just don't trust them. But I think I could trust it with $100. Okay, so here's a strategy. Strategy 1, invest $100 every quarter. For example, 1st of January, 1st of April, 1st of July, 1st of October. I'm going to start doing that on the 1st of October. I'm going to put another $100 in. After 3 years, withdraw $36,000 every quarter. That gives you an annual income of $140,000 per year. And you can just carry on doing that every year. 4 times a year, you put in $100, and then 4 times a year, you take out 36,000. It's just there's that lag time of 3 years to build up. But if you're, I was going to say reasonably young, but if you're planning to be around in 3 years' time and longer, then this is not a bad strategy. $400 a year. We've all wasted more than that on crazy things, so it's not a massive ask. You haven't got to do this, of course. You can just put $100 in, and that's the end of it. And see what happens in 3 years' time, and then based on that, then decide what you're going to do. Because once you get your first payout, all the rest are free, aren't they? You put a few thousand aside, you spend the rest, and that few thousand then funds you putting $100 in every quarter. So you'd have, at the end of the 3 years, you'd have $1,200 tied up, and be taking out $150,000 a year. The second strategy I've come up with is to invest $100 every month. I know plenty of people that put $100 a month into a savings plan, an ISA tax-free thing, for a 401k or an ISA or Roth or whatever, and they put money in every single month to invest for the future. Well, if you were to do that, $100 every month in this business, After 3 years, you'd be withdrawing $36,000 every month. So your annual income will be $432,000 per year. Okay, and you know, by the end of the third year, you would have $3,600 tied up in this to give you an annual income of $432,000. So either of those strategies are good. I think that we should encourage people to do one or the other. The first one isn't really a strategy, just you know, buy $100 lottery ticket and see what happens. That's not really a strategy. But the $100 every quarter and $100 every month, that's kind of a strategy. So we should encourage people to do one or the other, and then see what happens in 3 years' time. Now, as I say, Cryptex doesn't meet all of our criteria. It's not the sort of thing where we can take a monthly income or daily income and reinvest it and that sort of thing. So we, you know, if we start this, we will continue with Cryptex for the foreseeable future, but I am actively looking for other platforms that meet our criteria where we can put some money in today and we can take some profit out over the next few days. Okay, so Cryptex isn't the answer. It's just something I think we should chuck into the mix. It seems to be good and reliable and solid because it's been there for a long time, and it adds to the security of what we're doing with Wealth Warriors. So that's important. It adds to the security. So what I recommend you do is get hold of the referral link from your upline, and if they haven't joined yet, get them to get the referral link from their upline and so on. And you know, everybody join. You make sure your people have got your referral link and so on. And so there's the 4 platforms we're using at the moment. It's kind of the only one that really fits our criteria really well is BitHarvest. Matrix Freedom is great because it means that we can become free, but it's not really, looking at it as a business, is not really an income producing business. Cryptex is kind of getting there, but it still doesn't fit particularly well. And Trade Like Crazy, we're going to be moving away from that in the fullness of time. So there's plenty of room. We're still looking for more businesses like BitHarvest that are good, reliable businesses that can produce income for us every day, every week, every month. So we're not going to talk about property robots or fractional 3D, except that we don't promote them anymore. We run a Telegram group. We hold this Zoom call every Sunday. With Freedom Matrix, I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and I said, well, you know, you're asking questions, but you signed up in Freedom Matrix. How many videos have you watched? And at the very least, go and watch 3 or 4 videos. Start working your way through the webinars and books at your own pace, but get the first roadmap completed as soon as possible. It's a great feeling to see that that thing on the screen where they say, yes, we've now made your filing. You go, yeah, this is good. Things are all moving in the right direction. And there are some other people that I'm working with that are in the same position. It's a great feeling. Okay, but not everybody that's joined Matrix Freedom has gone ahead and done what they want to. I know some people are sat looking at me to see what happens, which is fine. But if you want to recoup your 2022 bank accounts, you need to just make a decision and get on with it. Because by the time I get my money through, it'll be too late for 2022 for most people who aren't yet started. Okay. So get the referral links for all the platforms, register in all the opportunities, make a note of your referral links, pass your links on to the existing frontline members, make a minimum payment at all opportunities, ask your introducer to be added to the Wealth Warriors Telegram group, where you get up-to-date information. Attend a Zoom call or watch a video for each platform. You don't have to be an expert in all the platforms. And what I suggest is become an expert in one and just have a working knowledge of the others. And then later, when new platforms are added, there's a routine there to make sure that your people all join the new platform. Grow your Wealth Warriors by bringing more people to the Wealth Warriors Zoom calls. And again, we're not really doing a big drive on Wealth Warriors, but if you have some friends that you want to see get involved in Wealth Warriors and and see what the benefits are, and you know, begin to get excited about the future again, then by all means bring them along. You only have to promote the 1 or 2 platforms you're excited about. We've covered that. Landing pages, I'm not going to go through that. You can get a bit harvest marketing system. We'll build a quick reminder, we're building a solid foundation on which we can base our financial futures. We only work with companies that are in it for the long term. We only work with companies that are above board. And we want to build a large asset, which in turn will deliver us a large income, whatever the asset is. Only platforms that meet our rigorous criteria are even considered. I don't know if I can say that anymore, but at least we're aware that Cryptex doesn't meet all of our criteria, but there's a reason why we are entertaining that. We're not saying, look, it's another platform exactly right for wealth warriors. We're saying, let's have a little bit more security, and this looks like a good way of doing it. So we apply our rules to the industry. We don't rely on anybody else's rules. We don't let other people dictate our terms. Okay, we're interested in having our rules applied so that we can achieve our outcomes. If we follow somebody else's rules, you probably won't get the outcomes you're looking for. Finally, it's important to remain safe on the internet and in the world of online opportunities at all times. Do not share your password or other credentials with anyone. If somebody approaches you and it sounds like a scam, a spam approach, it probably is. Oh, I'm just involved in this, you know, what's your experience of it? Okay, that's what most spammers approach you with. You know, I'm looking at Wealth Warriors. How much have you spent with them? So it shows they know nothing at all about Wealth Warriors. Or I'm in this. What's your experience? So I've got hundreds and hundreds of unsolicited messages I don't even bother replying to. Where it's available, set up your 2FA on your accounts. And if you don't know what this is or how to do it, Google 2FA. Mr. Google knows everything about how to set up your 2FA. Back up your passwords and your 2FA codes in a secure location. If you write it down, if you have a safe, put it in the safe. Okay, and make sure the executives of your will or your beneficiaries have access to that information in the event of your death. You don't want to spend a few years building up a fortune in Bitcoin only to find out that when you die, nobody knows you have the Bitcoin or where it is or how to access it. Okay, so a couple of little tips there. So get back to the person who invited you on this call or referred you to this video. They're ready and waiting to help you avoid scams, protect your permanent network, and create immense personal wealth. So that is the end of Wealth Warriors presentation. I'm going to stop the share and I'm going to stop the recording. Any second now.
I want to see you win. I want to see you absolutely smash every single dream you have. I want to see you overcome all of the barriers you face, and I want to see you succeed. I'm your biggest fan, your top supporter, and I'll be with you every single step of the way. You're destined for greatness, with or without me, and I want to see you achieve. Your potential is limitless, and your determination is inspiring. Keep striving for your goals, and I'll continue to cheer you on.